it up there right now at 3-1, a tepid favorite. I went with the number 4, as you mentioned, Golden Friendships. Try and notch this 3 lifetime condition after responding in the first start of the claim by trainer Dan Peter with that pretty good $6,250 2 lifetime victory. Edgar Zayas will be in the saddle today, and just thought this was the logical horse on paper. But I like the fact that you were looking for someone out of this category, just going to 2 to 3, and that might be the way to go in these type of races, because you find, I don't know what the percentage would be, but horses going from 2 lifetime to 3 lifetime do not win all the time, even though they have a good performance the time before.
Yeah, I always say it's no different with the lifetime conditions here at Gulfstream Park West for me than it is with the maiden claiming races. I always try to find the fresh faces. It always seems like they play out a lot better off in these races than the horses that are the usual suspects.
Well, we both had the 3 on our ticket, too. Ultraviolet, Lures Paco should sit a trip off the speed today of Golden Friendships and others. Yes, no, got to go. Another speed horse in here. Bright Promise, another horse that looks like he might want to go to the lead. So this horse might end up sitting the trip, Ultraviolet. And if you watched our replay show, you saw that Paco had quite a day yesterday with 4 wins.
He sure did. And this filly does have a victory over the wet racetrack, which is more than most of this field can say. Ultraviolet looks a logical opportunity here today.
Yeah, the other horse we both use is this Key Home, and is another moving into that 3 lifetime condition. However, the barn, I checked it out, there's 0 for 14 with horses winning back-to-back races, but maybe somewhere on the ticket. But I do like your selection of the number 6 horse in there, trying to get a little different kind of way to look at the opening event. With that said, we'll go to the second to deal with this sloppy track, and this one is a maiden 2-year-olds, $25,000 in here. No scratches or jockey changes. I went with the 5 off duty, as you did, Pete. Off duty is its maiden tag sliced in half. Coming up empty, that was against $50,000 debut for a Plisa Paco, Eddie Plisa Jr. Paco will handle that drop to the $25,000 level. A shaky choice, but looks like the logical one.
Not a shaky choice for me. I really like this gelding here this afternoon, based off the strength of an angle that we're going to start to see me use a little bit, and you can tease me and disagree all you want. Second time from New Jersey. This horse went favored first start of in South Florida after wintering or spending the summer in New Jersey. Went favored, did not take to the racetrack, did not take to the class level. Now gets to change both of them, as now he has a race over the track and takes a big drop in class. This horse has some back races that would make him very, very tough to beat in here, and I always like the second start over the track coming in from New Jersey. People forget about these horses. Now it's time for it to pay off.
You should get a T-shirt made with me, a second start from New Jersey in here, because you're out here preaching it every day. The number 2 Royal Knowledge is the son of Chapel Royal, debuting for James Kirk. He's really limited with the sampling. It's 1 for 2 with first-time starters. So he had 2 first-time starters. He won with one of them, Edgar Prado, in the saddle today. So I thought maybe I'll get a little cute and put the first-time starter, number 2 Royal Knowledge, on my ticket.
Here's what I can tell you about this barn, James Kirk. When the horses are live, the money shows. So if you're playing the early daily double, you're going to have to bet in good faith. But if you're playing the second race as the second race, you can kind of shop around and see what kind of money shows up on this horse. And I'm 3-1 morning line. We'll see if that happens here today. Royal Knowledge, the barn and tote will tell you where this horse fits.
So you have to do some tote watching. Anybody else on the ticket that you like? You went with the 4 horse in second. That's
Shine for John made a good riddle move last time out behind Cool Union Man, who was exiting a very, very productive race, won by G5, who came back to win an allowance. The trail of races that this horse comes out of is all right. Makes a rider switch from Abdiel Hayen to Jose Gutierrez. Jose works in part with Kathleen O'Connell in the morning. Like to see that. Shine for John made a nice middle move while wide on the course in his debut run. I think he takes a step forward here today. I think he's actually the most logical horse to beat the 5 if the 5 doesn't bring his A game.
You know, I used the 1 on my ticket, Pete. This one, Charlie's Ambition. He's just trying to find that level where he can win. He's been beating double-digit lengths against maiden special weight and $50,000. However, last time he showed improved speed. I just think maybe with the connections here that this might be the proper level for the number 1, Charlie's Ambition, to show a little bit more.
I think you're right. He definitely has a shot because he beat our top play in off duty. So if you can beat our top play one time, why can't you do it again today?
Right. So we'll put him on my ticket. Anything else before we flip the page, Pete?
No, sir, this is a very, very tough race. It's the back half of an early daily double. I think that the early daily double is worth taking a look at today.
Well, let's go to the third race, and this one is a 6 furlong claimer, 3 and up, $6,250. These are non-winners of 3 races in life. Scratch the number 4 horse in here, Red Max. I went with the 1 sweeping change, and so did you.
Yeah, we have the same 3 in the exact same order, which is never a good sign for
Never,
either one
ever,
of us.
ever.
I think that I'm going to have to buy the early pick 4 in this race just because of that. Number 1 sweeping change was super impressive in his Gulfstream Park West debut. It was his second start since coming in from Philadelphia Park. Yet another angle that's good. Second time from somewhere else around here is always a good angle.
So it's just somewhere else now? I thought it was only New Jersey.
Well, Philadelphia's close enough. Sweeping change was super, super impressive that afternoon. Now, he does take a condition step up here today, but I think that the boy division is not really as big a step up as the girl division, and he was really good last time.
Well, they named this other horse that we have in a ticket because I have to do the show with Pete every day, and that's called Teardrops in My Eyes. This one cutting back to 6 furlongs on the dirt. 7 previous races, 2 wins, 2 second. Finished 4th. I think it was a stamina tweaking performance at a mile on the Meadowlands turf. Jason Service really strong with the surface switch, 32%.
Do you sit up at night coming up with these buzz phrases? What did you say? Stamina tweaking performance. A buzz phrase of the day there. Teardrops in My Eye would be a very, very logical horse to use in your early pick 4. He makes a whole lot of sense. A lot of his good races have been at 2 turns, but he does have a good race going 5.5 off the shelf. He probably goes favored here for Jason Service and Gabriel Saez. These connections are going to take money for good reason, and he's a horse to use in your early pick 4. In my view, even though we have the same top 3, I think you go too deep here and move on.
Yeah, I'm not. Beantown Skipper just managed to get back to the dirt today, almost notched that 3 lifetime condition, going 7.5 on the turf. So we'll see how that race plays out. But you're right, the 2 horses there. You got to start singling or just dropping a couple unless you want to have one of those huge tickets in the in the early pick 4.
Yeah, Beantown Skipper has some huge buyer figures for a horse running in this level. He's actually in the 70s and the high 60s, 3 of his last 5. This horse, he just doesn't seem like he ever can seal the deal. I don't think it's his fault. He tries hard. We'll see if Francisco Masonette can get more out of him today.
Well, let's go to the 4th race. This one on the turf. It's 1 mile. Maiden claim is fillies 2-year-olds. Claiming price is $25,000. I went with the number 8 in here, Rona Daytona. This one is dropping from maiden special weight to the $25,000 level, stretching out to a mile after hitting the board in one of 2 maiden special weight races, going 5 furlongs on the turf. Tamara Levy. Tammy Levy is the trainer. She's 22% with turf. Go horses that run well going for. I could put turf to dirt, but I meant dirt to turf.
Well, that's wrong, too, because the horse has run twice on the dirt last 2 times. I think it just is a statistical anomaly there for you, Governor. Rona Daytona does make the class drop and is my second play because of it. I used the 10 horse on top, Cool Canai for trainer Tony Pecoraro. Gabe Saez is riding this horse. Adds Lasix, has some very good company lines. You see a repeat winner 2 back, a repeat winner 3 back, and a repeat winner last time out. Makes a rider switch here today to Gabriel Saez. You can see that Tony Pecoraro is not using the top-level riders at Delaware with this horse, this filly, her 3 times. Brian Pedroza, Jose Vega, who has had a very good amount of success when he had his bug, and then Yamil Rosario, who last campaigned at Thistledown when he was a top-tier rider. So I don't know that this horse was really given much opportunity in those 3 races. Could be setting up for a good run here, first time around 2 turns, but there's a lot of horses doing that here. There's a lot of horses that have not done what they're doing today, which is run 2 turns on the grass. And for that reason, this race is a spread race in the pick 4.
Yeah, I also used Summer Valentine, going to give the turf a try after responding last time to a drop in competition with a second-place finish against 16 claimers going 7 furlongs. The trainer Mike Trombetta, Ramsey Zimmerman, and if this horse, I like this horse to maybe run well on the turf, but if for some reason it comes off, I like this horse even better on a wet track. But we'll see how the day plays out. We're dealing with some rain here, but we're still on the turf this afternoon, and that's good to know because race number 5 is where the Rainbow Six starts with the $100,000 jackpot guarantee.
You're not going there yet, are you? I have to talk about a horse, another second start coming from Kentucky now. We got second start from somewhere else.
I missed the Kentucky. Pardon me. Let's go back.
Number 2, my Alex Alexandra, the 2 horse in today's 4th race, is a must-use in your early pick 4s. She comes out of a decent race last time out where the winner came from Indiana Downs and Penry. She takes a stretch out from 5/8 to a mile on the turf today. She does have 2-turn experience. It's not pretty 2-turn experience, but it's experience nevertheless. And against this field, you do have some horses that have questions that we don't have answers for. My Alex Alexandra at least may have a chance to get part of this. Gaffalione riding for Dorochenko. She's 0 for 9, I realize that, but she'll be a nice price, and she's worthy of inclusion in your early pick 4.
You remember what I said, the 5th race, the Rainbow Six and all of that?
Yeah, we can.
Well, that's going to happen now. So the Rainbow Six does start in race number 5, and right now we are still on the turf. The main track's sloppy, but the turf course seems to be in pretty good shape, and we'll see how it plays out. This 5th race, 6 furlongs, an allowance optional claimer. These are state breds, 3-year-olds and up, 25,000. Scratch the 2 Pomeroy's package. I went with the number 5, and he is Stall Walking Dude, turning back to a sprint on the dirt after following a 7 furlong score in the slop. That was back on 10:24. Comes back and runs a well-meant second, going a mile on the turf. However, that was 6 days ago. It was on Monday.
Yeah, that's the key thing here. Stall Walking Dude looks like a very, very logical play. You can't blame David Jacobson for wheeling him back. A, he likes to wheel horses back, and B, this is a good spot for this horse, so you can't argue with that.
Yeah, you pointed it out to me when I looked down and saw his stats of how many horses he brings back, short turnaround. It's more than the normal percentages that trainers have. So number 5, Stall Walking Dude on top of my ticket, but you went with the number 3, More Than a Halo.
Yeah, well, just trivia time for a Sunday afternoon. Let me ask you this question. What happened with More Than a Halo the last time he was on this main track?
I don't remember.
He won.
He won.
What happened the time before that?
He won.
Yeah, what happened the time before that?
Don't tell me he won.
Oh, yeah. This horse has won his last 3 races over this main track. He's laid up for a second start off of a bit of a freshening. Great form cycle progression here for Manny Estevez. Ran very, very well last time out while closing in at Gulfstream Park. Takes a drop in class here today. Second start off the layoff. This is a tricky race to read from a class standpoint. This is an optional 12,000 or A other than. It reads more like an A other than to me than a $12,000 claimer, but More Than a Halo gets in, even though he's won an A other than, because he's going to go in for the 12-5. It's an aggressive move by Manny Estevez. I think this horse gets forgot about on the tote board. You have Pomeroy's package with jockey Edgar Prado. Paco's riding for Jacobson. This horse is going to take a lot of play. And then Just a Little Evil, who you used second. He was favored last time and won easy. He'll also take some play.
Well, he's stepping up after shipping in from Monmouth and debunking Pete's theory that Monmouth shippers can't win first start at Gulfstream Park West. It is Marcus Vitale, Orlando Bocachica, and if my eyes do not deceive me, you do have him on the ticket. And look, I even have the word debunking in here to prove to you that this can be done, that horses can ship in from Monmouth and win.
Not only does he have the word debunking, he actually says right on the notes, debunking Pete's theory. I don't know if things are getting personal here or not, but I can tell you that my theory is now in effect because it's second start from New Jersey. Doesn't matter how he ran the first time, he's going to be even better here this afternoon.
Oh, I knew there was some kind of angle he was going to come up with in here. You got the 5, Stall Walking Dude in second, and the 7, and you used the 3 you talked about, and I had the 4, Restaurant, Ed's Blinkers, finishing 4th. That was in a $16,000 optional claimer at the distance, and this one may have tipped his hand with the blinker chains, because you look, he's got a bullet half-mile work in 47-2. Looks like maybe they worked him with the blinkers, and he woke up, and I'm expecting this horse. He's going to be not bet that much, and he can be on your ticket.
I agree completely. Me and you have touched on the 4 horses I think you have to use in multi-legs here. 3, 4, 5, 7, you'll get covered safe, and hope you can beat 5, Stall Walking Dude on short rest. He'll be heavily favored.
Let's go to our 6th race, 6 furlong maiden claimers, fillies, 2-year-olds, $25,000. I went with the 4, Exclusive Symphony, and you went with the number 7 horse in here, Cold-Hearted Woman.
Well, I want you to talk about Exclusive Symphony first. That would be quite all right with me.
Okay, I will do that. Exclusive Symphony has come up a little short as the favorite in consecutive starts. It finds the perfect spot, I think, today to shed the maiden tag for trainer Mike Petro and jockey Edgar Zayas.
Well, you kicked it off, is exactly why I'll try to beat her here today. She's blown leads in her last 2 races. She's been favored in her last 2 races. She's ran well in her last 2 races. And these are the kind of horses that eventually beat me, and she'll probably beat me today, but I'm going to try to beat her again. Some first-time starters in here that had some intrigue to me. They both come from the Kathleen O'Connell barn. I didn't know which one to use on top, so I used them first and second. I'll go with the 7 Cold-Hearted Woman. Jockey Octavio Vergara Jr. has been working for O'Connell in the morning, and so has Jose Gutierrez. So I would have to imagine that the riders are both very familiar with both of their fillies in this race, and I think that based on the morning line, you have them both installed at 8-1. I'll take both, and just hope I'm right. I'm trying to beat the 4. Multi-leg-wise, if the 4 wins, I'm out.
Yeah, and the number 8, My Toad, proved she can compete at this level. When she stepped up, she dueled for lead in that race. She weakened late. She finished 4th behind aforementioned Exclusive Symphony. So if you don't like Exclusive Symphony, I'm sure you don't like the 8 either.
You're right.
I'm learning this game, and I used the Starship Virtue to 9, dropped some maiden special weight state breds with blinkers added, finished a workmanlike 5th career debut. Dwoskin is the trainer. That's Steve and Jose Valdivia Jr. in the saddle.
Yeah, here's a statistical anomaly. Steve Dwoskin listed in your racing form as 5%.
I can never understand that.
I don't either. I wrote right in my racing form a lie. I mean, the statistics, I guess they don't lie, but it's well documented, and I wish Mike Welsh was here to confirm it for both of us. Steve Dwoskin horses don't win first time. They don't. They're not ready to go. It's Ron McAnally-esque. If you're a California player, you know better than to play McAnally first time, but you know that they'll be much better no matter how bad they ran in their first run. They'll be better the second time. No different here with Starship Virtue. Takes a drop in class and adds the blinkers with an outside draw. I expect improvement today.
Well, let's go to our 7th race here. This is 6 furlongs, maiden claim is fillies, 2-year-olds. Big claiming price of $100,000. I went with number 5, Blue Eyed Babe, and you went with the inside horse in here, Malibu Mama. Would you like me to go first so you could slam me, or was?
No, I have absolutely nothing to slam in this race. This race is really, really tough.
Okay, well, let me tell you about Blue Eyed Babe, then. I feel safe. This one's going to stretch out to 6 furlongs after making that 4-wide bid to finish 4th, beating 2.5 lengths. That was in its 5-furlong debut. That was against maiden special weight. Just looks like the logical horse in here to progress, stretch out, a little bit of a drop. I don't know how you figure a drop from maiden special weight to 100,000. Doesn't seem like much of a drop.
I don't think it is one.
Yeah. So I used the 5 Blue Eyed Babe, and I see you used it in second. And then you have, as I mentioned, the number 1 Malibu Mama.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. 8-1 on the morning line. Jason Service and Gabriel Saez. Yeah, first-time starter on the rail, I know. But Jason Service horses are instinctively trained to go to the front and break sharply. So if I can get to the front on the inside, now it doesn't look so bad, especially at 8-1 on the morning line. I'll be interested to see how this horse takes, what kind of action this horse takes. Service horses usually tip their hands in the morning, and this filly has not been really tipping her hand in the morning. They're okay drills. She has no drills in South Florida, which is a huge red flag for me. But the fact that she's going to be 8-1, theoretically, that is, sold me on her. I think that this is a race where you can use horses like Blue Eyed Babe. You should use horses like Blue Eyed Babe. But the first-time starters have a look here. All 3 of them really have a look to me.
Well, this other first-time starter in the 6, Majestic Masquerade, who you have in your ticket to, is a daughter of Majestic Warrior, debuting for trainer Sal Santoro. Solid work tab. This one has a work tab over the track. Lures Paco Lopez. So I just think that Majestic Masquerade, a bit of a guess, but why not a first-time starter that's been working over the track?
It's strange. The Majestic Masquerade is strange to me, and I mean that in a good way, because Sal Santoro horses have not been ready to go all summer. They've been Dwoskin-esque. They've been running a lot better their second and third starts out. But you also haven't got Paco Lopez to ride this horse. Where do they come up with that? Something's got to be going on with the good work tab and the fact that Paco's going to take the call for Sal Santoro. This horse might be rose to gold-esque. Sal Santoro trains that very nice filly in rose to gold.
Right.
And I think that this horse, I'm interested to see how this horse takes money. I think that the morning line's right. I think she takes a lot of money here, and I could you could be looking at a huge run from her.
Yeah, 8 Artie's Bourbon Girls stepping up, my other horse, and he responded to the addition of Lasix with improved third against $50,000 types. James Kirk, Edgar Prado.
I'll pass. I'll go for the fourth, number 4, Fancy Malka. John Service and Jose Caraballo. This horse has got a couple of works at Palm Meadows. Makes a South Florida debut with some seasoning. Cuts back from 2-turn races to 1-turn races. Might be a leg-up run for a race on the turf, as Service has a 3-furlong turf work on this horse. This might be I need to get a race underneath her, see if I can't tighten her up. But she merits consideration anyway in the start of the late pick 4.
Well, we're going to show you a video when we go to our 8th race, 1 mile. This is a turf event starter, optional claim it, 3-year-olds and up, 12,500. Scratch the 8, scratch the 10. Main track onlys when we came on the air are still in the race. And I know you wanted to show a race from October 24th, and it's put it forward on a sloppy track.
It's not only put it forward, it's Native Gold, too, who he's going to move way up. Put it forward, just hit the front in the blue colors. Stall walking dude, a horse that's in earlier in the day. He beats him, but look at Put It Forward's form. You can kind of gauge how good Stall walking dude is in. Put It Forward runs very, very well off the poly. That's Native Gold battling with Rock Alex for third money that afternoon. Listen, fans, when I handicapped this race last time out, I listened to the Weather Channel and thought for sure we'd be off the grass. I'm not sure we won't be. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but I think by the afternoon we'll know one way or the other if there is enough moisture in the atmosphere to take us off the grass. Put It Forward is a play on dirt. It's not a play on turf. I think the play on turf is your play, the 7 Purely Boy.
Yeah, this one makes its local bow after notching its third straight turf victory at Monmouth back on August 23rd. 3 for 3 in the money on wet tracks if your theory comes like. So this horse also can run well on wet tracks. But let's talk about the turf trainer, Jason Service. Paco returning to ride. If you look at those victories at Monmouth Park, Paco was on 2 of the 3 of those victories. So he knows this horse very well. On the turf, I think the number 7 Purely Boy strictly the one to beat.
Yeah, if race runs on the turf, I think that the 4 Tom Kitten will probably be the horse to beat. You can see that the 4 is my top play. I was astute enough to give the folks in the TV truck both turf and dirt picks, and they have put my turf picks up, which is good news because Tom Kitten merits consideration on the turf course. I'm trying to find races where he's run on a less than firm turf course. He has one back here on this course in January. It was 2-5, got beat half a length while finishing 5th. It's not exactly a ringing endorsement, whereas Purely Boy ran on a less than firm turf last time and he won it. So this is a tricky race, and the weather will definitely have a play on this race.
Yeah, and just that Tom Kitten, who you have on top, 9 races on this course with 4 wins, 1 second and 2/3. So he loves it here. Just as Pete said, don't know how if he likes it with a lot of give in the ground. I use Lasso in here.
Of course you use Lasso. You love Lasso.
Right. Lasso collared another victory when shipping in from Monmouth to defeat entry-level allowance runners here and notch its 2nd consecutive turf score. He's also has a record on the wet track of 4 starts, 1 win, and 1/3.
So. Why do you love Lasso so much? Because you knew that I needed Romp and Reed to run him down, and you were so high on him first start from New Jersey last time?
Absolutely not the truth. Absolutely not true. I just like Lasso.
Okay, well, Lasso has a big chance on turf or dirt.
Okay, let's go to the 9th race here. We got a couple of minutes left. We got a very nice video we want to show you. The 9th race, 1 mile allowance optional claim at 3 and up, $16,000. And we want to show you none like Nolan's last race. That was on October 20th.
Well, if we had rewound it about another 15 seconds, you'd have seen that none like Nolan lacked clear running, but you can see it here anyway because he had kind of that kind of trip under jockey Edgar Zayas. No place to go. He's going to come up the inside lane and then have to tip back to the outside. That's Dude Man for Jane Sibeli hitting the front for Ramsey Zimmerman. He was a very impressive winner that afternoon. None like Nolan with all that traffic to negotiate. Look at that. He's finishing up. I mean, he's making ground on Dude Man, and he galloped out ahead of him. I like this horse here this afternoon. He is a single in the pick 6, a single in the pick 5, and my best bet on the program, Jersey Joe Bravo. And guess what? 2nd start from New York. We got all kinds of great angles here for number 1, None Like Nolan. The only concern about this horse, he ran a career good race last time. I hope he doesn't regress.
Well, as you mentioned, Joe Bravo won because Edgard is staying on the number 8, Biedermeyer. Another from Todd Pletcher. He steps up, stretches out after responding to the blinkers. This was a nice race. This local debut scored 6 airlines. I thought this was a pretty sharp race. And as I mentioned, Edgar Zayas will ride that other part of the uncoupled entry. And I see you have it on your ticket, too.
Yeah, but for me, it's all about None Like Nolan. If he wins, I'm in. If he doesn't, I'm out.
I also use the 7 Big Blue Talent, making third start of its current form cycle after surrendering her lead and finishing third to other than none like Nolan last time out. So he was in the mix there, backed up a little bit, third off the bench. Maybe wakes up and pulls a little bit of an upset in there.
Listen, all the points that you brought up are valid. It's just a matter of having to take a stand, and this is the race I'm going to take a stand in.
Anything else before we go to the nightcap?
No, sir.
Okay, let's go. 1 mile on the turf. Turf, we are still on it. Turf is firm. Claimers, non-winners of 2 in life, $6,250. Do have 1 scratch in here already of the number 13, Deputy Vic, and AE 14. It's still in when we came on the air. I went with the number 9, and so do you, and that's Pickett's Corner. Dropping a notch after following that 12-5 maiden win with a second. That was against $8,000 types, 2 lifetimes. Petro, Edgar Zayas. Looks like a logical contender.
Yeah, he's the best horse in here, regardless of what surface we go on. If he runs on the turf, he's got a victory. If he runs on the dirt, he's got enough races in West Virginia when he started his career to be plenty good enough against this field. He looks the best horse to me. I tried to find somebody to beat him and couldn't do it. He's the solid play in the final race.
The only other one, the 10, Touchdown Tom, who we both have on the ticket, this horse has never run this cheap. And he's not run badly on his turf performances, so maybe he finds this level and gets the job done there. I think he's a logical contender, maybe not to win it, but on the exact and trifecta ticket.
No, I think he's a logical contender to win it. If he's the logical horse to beat the 9 Pickett's Corner. I'm intrigued about Touchdown Tom as we run out of time. You go from Lucy Herkova to Edgar Prado, and the horse doesn't run a jump. Now we get Lucy Herkova back. That's the key to this horse. She understands him. She gets along with him, and the relationship should prove valuable here in the final race.
Yeah, and I closed it out with no appreciation, which is usually how my day goes here. This one has tactical speed and beaten only 2 lengths. Went 4th against Similar last time out.
And I went with a similar long shot and Wisemaker.
So we'll see how it plays out. It's once again been a fun afternoon. Remember, Pete, we're dark for live racing tomorrow, but we got a special card on Tuesday.
Special card on Tuesday afternoon, and then no live racing on Wednesday. We'll kick it back off on Thursday. So Tuesday, Thursday through Sunday next week.